Hi guys, Neil at Italia Autos here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to be having a look underneath the quadrifoglio. So I've had the car a few weeks now. First chance I've had to get it on the ramp. I have got a bit of a knock or a rattle. To me, it sounded like an upper wishbone. I have had a quick look and I do know what it is already, so I will talk about that in a minute. So let's have a look under it and let's see how well it's aging, what's wrong with it, and what I need to do into it. Try and see if I can get this vibrating noise on camera, so I'm going to be quiet now and listen for a minute, and we should hopefully hear some sort of vibration now. Don't know if you heard that on camera. I'm trying to have a little bit of a low drain. So let's pick another point. Here's another one now, so listen now. Well, I found out what the rattling is. It sounds like a wishbone was going. That's what it sounded to me. So I thought, let's get it on the ramp and have a look and see what's going on. And the jacking point cover is totally loose. Let's start at the front end. This carbon spoiler, it has picked up quite a few scratches, which is understandable. It is quite low to the front of the car, and every time you do go over speed bumps, you do hear some rubbing, but you know, there's not much you can do about it. We do have some rubbing on at the front corner of the bumper. Now, if any of you guys want to lower your spoiler to give it a good clean, two 13mm nuts there, undo both of those and your front spoiler will drop straight down. Now, under these you have got one heck of a lot of undercarriage covers. We've got a damaged one here, which is probably going to cause some flapping when I'm driving along. So I'm going to want to do something with that. So maybe a couple of cable ties will pull it back together, but I do want to see how much a new one of those is at the dealer. It is quite a large part, so I'll be phoning the parts department and having a word with those. Also noticed some damage to the front flexi pipes here. I don't think it's going to be very long until we've got some holes there, so I maybe want to start thinking about fitting an X pipe. Exactly the same on this one here. So that's a mod I want to continue to think about. A few bits of arch liner flapping around, so I may need to just get a few nuts and bolts on there just to tighten these things up to stop them flapping around. That's my biggest annoyance, is having to replace that. Let's go further down the car. That side looks okay. Rust-wise, for a 3-year-old car, perfectly fine. No little spots of rust or anything like that, so fingers crossed. Alfa have galvanised the underside now. Onto this rear skid pan, which is sort of the largest skid pan part on the car. It has picked up a few knocks and bangs. A little bit of a bent heat shield, so we'll pop that back into shape there. All present and accounted for. We do have stones starting to appear up here, so I will want to clean those out. I'm going to undo these few nuts and see how much crap I can pull from behind there. But it has surprised me on how much Alfa have taken into account aerodynamics on the underside of the car. I mean, there isn't much of the car, other than the exhaust in the centre, that isn't covered by something which would enable better aerodynamics. And we've got the line going through here, which is going to shape the air as it goes. I mean, this is shaped as well. I'd imagine that's going to do something for air distribution on the underbelly. We've got these air fins here, which are going to shape the air to the rear spoiler at the back. And as you can see here, that rear spoiler isn't there for effect. It's there to direct the air from the front of the car all the way through to the back. We've got the automatic gearbox here, and when we ever need to change the fluid in it, very easy. You've just got a sump plug there, and if you ever need to change the gasket, very easy to access. Nothing getting in our way there to ever change that. Now here we have got some mounts for the back of the transmission. Not going to be difficult to change those if they ever need replacing. and just above it we have the carbon fibre prop shaft. You can't actually see very much of it because it's all underneath a heat shield here, but it's going to go all the way along here, back up into there, but we can't see it because it's too dark. Also struggled to get the car on the ramp, had to put 4 bits of plywood down, sort of a centimetre thick, and it raised it up sufficiently enough to be able to get it on the ramp, because this part of the arm, as you can see, it's very close to the skirt still, but it has just about cleared it, or it is just kissing it ever so slightly, and the rear part is nice and clear. Now, I was going to remove the valance to remove all the stones which notoriously gather behind the valance, but unfortunately all the clips on every single one of these but one of them have started to disintegrate, so the bolt just spins. So I can't do that now. I'm going to have to order some new bolts and some new clips from the dealer before I can do that. So let's just move on to securing the underside of the belly pans. Now from this part here, we're just missing some of the clips. So for now I have sprayed some 10mm nuts and bolts, if you can see them here, in some grease so they don't clog up too soon. So let's just pop these through here. So what I'm going to do it the other way around. I'll wash you again. And a nut. I'll tighten that up in a second. Let's just do the other side. So there we go, that's 2 bits sorted. Let's have a look at these bits at the front now. Now it does look as though that's been rubbing and it has just sort of disintegrated. So what I may do is just put a couple of small drill holes through it and a couple of cable ties for now, and we can hold that back together. And this is only going to be a temporary measure. Three should be sufficient. Now I wonder how many hundreds of pounds Alfa are going to want for this part. It's a bit crap that 3 years old, and I'm having to put some cable ties on my very expensive car to stop some wind noise problems. So that should flap around a little bit less now. The next bits are these two parts here. Right, as you can see here, it's pulled it out of the under tray, so I'm just going to probably just tech screw it over here. And that will hold it out the way and stop it from flapping. Same on the other side, and we're all done then. So the first thing I noticed, which is vastly different to all the Alfa Romeos of old, is you've got sort of two wishbones at the front now, which are sort of not really wishbones, they are arms. We've got the main one, which is here, which has got your ball joint in it, secures the suspension here, and then attaches to the subframe up there. So again, that will not be difficult to change later on in life. The same with changing the suspension. Looks very easy. You've got plenty of room to knock that out if needed. And then you've got your steering arm here, which is attached to the front of the hub. And there's a second like wishbone arm, which goes from sort of the middle of the hub right the way up into the front of the subframe up there. If you can get it to focus. So again, it's not going to be that much of a pain to change wishbones when they get older. Upper wishbones are pretty much what we're used to seeing on the Alfa Romeo 159s, where you've got sort of a double independent wishbone held in at the back there, but it does look as though you don't need to move the spring out of the way to change the upper wishbone. So in theory, you know, it's going to be what, half an hour's labour each side? You know, it's not even going to take that. If everything comes off nicely, we could probably have a wishbone changed in 5 minutes. So it's certainly one heck of a lot easier to work on than Alfa 159 wishbones. From what we can see of the rear suspension, it's just a suspension arm at the rear end, an independent rear suspension arm bolted to a subframe. Again, springs wouldn't be that difficult to change. You would just probably need to take a bolt out of the arm to pull the spring out, or use spring compressors on it, but with a wheel off that should be fairly simple to do. Again, another job when these vehicles are much older, not going to be difficult to do. Now, when I did my first video on it, these rear exhausts were really sooted up. I have put some brake cleaner on them and some auto sol. I've cleaned them up a little bit. All the soot's gone now, but it's all sort of de-chromed, so I am going to want to get some new ends, but from what I've seen, it's about £500 for some new ends, so I'm like, I won't do that. There is two little spot welds on the underside here, on each one, so what I'll probably do is take this rear valance off, drill them out, take them off, and paint them black or another suitable colour. Pink, maybe? No. Yeah, well, I'll take them off and paint them black, probably. Nice gloss black. Will make it look a lot cleaner. So we're off the ramp now. There are three things I need to sort out for it. I need to get the belly pan replaced. I need to get the clips and the bolts for the rear sort of valance spoiler, and then I can get all the stones out of that. And the third thing is the jacking point, how that's loose there. But what I'm going to do with that is, I've tried tightening it up, it just keeps spinning. So it's got warranty, it should be covered, so I'm going to call the dealer and get it booked in there for them to sort it out. And the other thing I'm going to update you on is the problem I had when I broke down. It was literally just the battery causing it. I have got some video of the actual fault when it happened, so I will insert that in a second. But I'll tell you about it now. I actually broke down 3 times. First time was outside my house when I did the video. I literally just used the car, took the kids to school, no issues, come back home to get something, went to restart it, boom, it was dead. This is where I'll put the video in now. Annoyed isn't the word. A week and a half into ownership and I've broken down. Used the car twice this morning. Dropped the nipper off to school and come back home to grab my keys, which I'd left at home. So gone to jump back in the car again. I'd abandoned it sort of in the middle of the road, thinking I'd only be here for a few seconds. Gone to start it, massive click from the dashboard, and then dead. So hopefully it's just a battery issue, but rather annoying is to say the least of it. So I'll show you what's happening. I'm in the car with the key, and the car is absolutely dead. Typically, being at home, I've got no tools or anything here. So I have called the AA, and they are going to be out in the next sort of hour and 45 minutes. And it just so happens I've got customers booked in for work to be done today, and it couldn't be any more annoying. Another annoying quirk is I wish I could access the boot. no jump leads, so I could, I can technically put a battery on at the front of the car if I've got jump leads, but I can't get into the boot to even check the battery connections. I mean, it may be something as stupid as that. So yeah, stuck, waiting for the AA to come. Been having a few problems with it since the first week of ownership, really. Jumped into it one day after I'd not used it for 24 hours, and it didn't start right, and we got a warning light on the dash as well as the engine warning light. Took it for a spin, and it did rectify itself over a couple of drives, and then didn't use it for 2 days, and same problem again. So it is booked into the dealer on Monday, which I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a battery replacement. So hopefully it's nothing more, because if it does continue, this car will be going back. I'm not spending all this money on a car which is breaking down constantly on me. So very annoying time today, costing me money and everything. So I can't have a car which is doing this to me. Well, the AA have been out to it, and typically as soon as he turns up, he decides the battery's perfectly fine and it works okay, but we are getting loads of errors on the dash as before. But we haven't got the engine warning light on for a change. That has come on before, so I reckon after a mile of driving I could restart it and there'll be no faults left on the dashboard. So yeah, so then after that the AA van come, sorted it out, jump started it, tested the battery, said yeah, your battery's not very good, which I knew anyway. So booked it into the dealer, not a problem. 1 week later it was booked in for. Carried on using it, thinking, oh, if it just happened outside my house or some other problems like that, or I've got the intermittent warning lights on the dash, not a problem. But I then decided to go into Birmingham, do some shopping. On the way out of Birmingham, Friday night, 5 o'clock, so rush hour, pulled up some traffic lights, stop start, decided it wanted to work, which was like a very rare thing. And then our lights went green, went to pull off, car went boom. Totally dead. So I was crapping my pants a little bit there, cars everywhere, lorry right behind me trying to sort of go into the back of me almost, because he thought the lights were green and we could all go. Luckily, after like 30 seconds, power was back again, car started all the way home, no issues. So I thought we'd go for a nice leisurely drive to take my wife to work, and we come to a junction again, stop start, decided it wanted to try and work, and then the car was dead, nothing. I was there for probably 50 minutes. Car didn't want to know at all. It had no power to anything. You can't access the boot when there's no power to the car, so I couldn't even check the battery connections. I'd got no tools with me, so I couldn't do anything. I've got no jump pack with me. Loads of really good passerbys were, oh, do you want to help us out? And I was like, I can't do anything with it because the handbrake's on or it's now in park. So I couldn't even move the car. I was stuck at this junction for nearly an hour. So the recovery guy come. We got a jump leads on it, managed to get it going again, charged the battery up a little bit, and then we could start it underneath its own power. And it still struggled then, so we towed it straight down to the dealer because I'd sort of had enough of it then. I was a little bit angry, but understanding as it was, I knew it was just a battery problem. So into the dealer, they gave me a hire car, which was great. And then they called me Monday evening, yep, we put a new battery on for you, and sorted it out. So the battery was 100% the problem. So the car is 3 years old, 53,000 miles, and it needs a new battery, which is a little bit upsetting really, but speaking to the dealer, it's a very common problem on these Giulia quadrifoglios. When they've not been used for a long period of time, or say over the winter you don't use it and you don't put it on a trickle charger, the batteries just don't last as long as they should do. So they have replaced the battery under warranty. Didn't need to, but they have done it for me, and it's all done now, all back up and tickety boot, no issues at all. The only issue I had, which is the reason I got it on the ramp, was that vibrating, which was from the jacking point. So we can get that all sorted, and it should be perfect then, apart from the few little niggles on the underbelly. But we can live with those at the end of the day, it's not too bad. So thanks for watching, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and something a little bit different to the rest of the Giulia quadrifoglio videos out there. So thanks for watching, please give this video a like, a share, and comment below if you've got any more questions on it. And thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.